about modern relationships. We have honest conversations about what really works. I don't know, just new speech that we have to do. I have to get used to it, so bear with me. If you like to ask any questions, I'm gonna drop the link in here for you guys to. You can join me live, and we can ask me questions, and we can have nice chat here. Anyway, so without further ado, so today's topic is this is why you married the wrong Ukrainian woman unless you watch this. So let's watch this.
Why do you think 50% of marriages fail?
One is because people don't select well. They select based on chemistry and their blueprint of like someone gives me butterflies, as opposed to having the tough conversations about what do we believe a life well lived is? What is our stance on children? What is our stance on money? What is our stance on spirituality? Like, what's our values? And what are we going to do to fight for this relationship when we have a hard time? So people don't have those conversations, and then they are not able to assess if they're actually with the right person for them. And then also people don't have the skills to make a relationship work over the long term. And people get very selfish. So we become fixated on what we're not getting, and we don't think about what we're not giving. We get in our heads, we create a lot of stories about the other person, we build up a lot of resentment. That resentment creates a lot of resistance. That resistance creates a tense physiology, and in that tense physiology, we're not attracted to each other anymore. We lose the motivation to meet each other's needs. And that's all part of the learned helplessness. And then we think, there's no better way to move forward from this than to get a divorce.
Well, yeah, that's what I agree with her on a lot of things, if not everything. People tend to, I don't know, a lot of the times they see someone, oh, okay, she's hot. So some men chase women just based on their looks, and women chase men based on their bank account, and or even just, oh, she's hot, or okay, we have all these sparks flying between us, chemistry, this, that. Let's get married, let's have kids, and then realize, they move in together. It's not as glamorous as it felt like, or you had it in your head. The picture is not the same because, frankly, yeah, because I always tell, it's one thing to date someone for a certain period of time, and everything is fine. You stay over at his place, she stays over at your place, whatever, however it works. And it feels like everything is pretty peachy and everything, and then you actually move in together, and then you realize you're not even compatible. You can't stand each other living in the same space. So I always encourage couples to try it out, try to live together for a few months, at least 3 months, see how it feels. And all it and your relationship is as strong as your deepest conversations, okay, the hardest conversations. If you can handle a conversation about serious stuff, like, yeah, like your finances, for example, the fact that I in Canada here, or I think in US as well, if I'm not mistaken, if you marry someone, if they have a debt, it becomes your debt. So you can find a woman with education, she's very well educated. You go to marry her, but she racked up $200,000-300,000, debt, school, this, that, and then you realize, well, crap, we didn't sit down, we didn't talk about this, we didn't talk about what you want in the future, what you want from life. Do you want to have kids? Do you want to where do you want to live? Some people might want to live in the city, some people want to live in maybe in the countryside. These things are important. You have to talk about the future. What are your goals? What are his goals or her goals? And a lot of people think, oh, okay, I'm just so in love, it feels so right, let's just get married and start popping out babies. And then a few years down the road, they're like, oh, crap, I've made the biggest mistake of my life. She's not the one for me, and we already have 2 babies. And what am I supposed to do? Same goes for women. Marries the guy, thinks that everything is peachy. Because one thing people have to understand, um, people act certain ways while they're dating, and then once they get married, even though I haven't been married, but I have lived with common law for a long time, and it's completely different. Most people, when they date, they're on the best behavior, you know most people. And then once they get comfortable with each other, that's when they start, showing other sides that you haven't seen before. And sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad, sometimes it's cute. It depends on what it is, right? um in my case, I know my man is super goofy. I always thought he was super serious when I first even met him. We became friends. We were friends for a while before we started any relationship, like dating. So he was super serious, and I was like, oh, is he always gonna be like this? But now I know he's a goofball. Like, if his colleagues or clients saw him the way he acts with me, they'd be like, oh my god, really? But like I said, um, oh, holy crappity crap. Sorry. Anyway, I got a lot of people here today. Okay, so let me just say hello to everyone. So, Passport King, hello. I was gonna ask Passport King because I was not even online, but you already. Oh, okay, yeah, never mind. And then you already said hi, Jane. Anyway, hello. Oh, that was me saying hello. Okay, da da da. That's hello, Santos. Itararam. Yes, no high debt or no high body count woman. Yeah, that's true. That's true. I don't know these women these days doing the OnlyFans. I remember, honestly, I remember when it first came out, this OnlyFans. I was gonna actually open it, but when it first started, it was something for, like, if you have like a hobby or whatever, and like cooking, for example, that's what you would put on there. I was gonna do like me drawing and painting. That's, by the way, that's my painting right there. It's not kind of zoomed out, but anyway, washed up my camera on. Anyway, not good. So that's what I was thinking, but then I kind of like, yeah, you know what, screw it. Mm, don't have time for this. Nor do I want to really. And then it turned out to be completely something different, and women ruining their lives doing this stuff. Because yes, there's one that makes $49 million a year. Okay, so but most women just do this, and then they just ruin their lives because they make like a couple of $100 a month extra. And but I don't know. I'm kind of, I don't even know what to say about that. It's just lately in the West, it's just everything is transactional. It's like women always. Every time I watch these videos, modern dating videos, stuff, like women want, oh, I want this and I want that and I want this before even the first date. Like, kings, one thing you have to realize, that you are the prize also. It's not just the woman that's the prize. It's when you meet someone that is the right person for you, you are the prize for each other. When you meet the right person, it goes not what he has to do for me. Like, no, it's about, well, what can I do to make him smile? What can I do to make him happy? What can I do to make him laugh? That's how healthy relationships work anyway. It's not about, oh, what can you do for me, or what can I get out of him. It's about, how can I make him happy? Because that's what goes through my mind. It's not what my man can do for me. I'm sure he can do a lot of things for me, but I don't really need anything other than his love and care. And the rest kind of falls into places because we're right person for each other, you know. So it's not, I don't really ask anything of him. Okay, yeah, like on the way home, on the way here, I'd ask him like, oh, hey, can you pick up something that I'm cooking and I'm missing parsley or well, anyway, some simple things, I don't really like him going grocery shopping without me. Well, anyway, let's see what else to do. Okay, hey, oh, we got some new people here. Hi, Cole, and hello, this is Cluster. This looks like a girl. Hi. And then, hey, Jay's Sexway. Hello. Anyway, cinema. I don't know. Hello, some G. Okay. Right. I'm not sure what that was about, but okay. Feel free to elaborate. By the way, you guys, here's my. 1 second. If you want to join me on here, more than welcome. 1 sec. Okay. Love is wonderful. Love is wonderful, but don't pay the bills, especially if she's a shopaholic and don't appreciate the value of money. Yeah. Well, there's one thing. Listen, I've met men that don't know how to budget. Same thing goes for women. It's not just women that like to shop. Like I said, I know some men that they just shop and they think they're making money right now, but I've met men before where they were making really good money. Especially there was one person I knew. He was working in oil and gas industry. He was making tons of money, tons and tons and tons of money. And then when the market crashed, I can remember, was it 2010 or something like this? He ended up losing his house, his Mercedes and Range Rover, and because he was spending way more that he was making, he thought he was gonna keep making that money because we live in Alberta, oil and gas, but. So he's like, "Oh, I'm always gonna be rich." Ended up sleeping on his buddy's couch. His wife left him. Like, he's just completely destroyed. Again, but I should say that the parents should be blamed for it. Because if you're not taught how to, the value of a dollar, if you're not taught from a young age that that you have to do things to money doesn't just fall out of the sky. You have to work or you have to do the chores. I had to do the chores and I didn't even get paid. Here kids, they clean their room, they get paid. Back home when I was growing up, I had to clean everybody's room. And I didn't get paid for it. No, that wasn't like that. It was just that I had to do certain things because these are the things that come in handy later on in life, which is like cooking. I've always had a thing for cooking. So yeah, I didn't like cleaning. Believe me, I did not like cleaning. I was crying and cleaning, but I had to clean Friday night before I left to my grandma's. I had to clean my house. And then Saturday morning before I go to see my friends, I had to clean grandma's house. Okay. And she didn't play any games. If I miss the spot, I start from the beginning. Okay. Because there was a sequence where I went, from one room to another, and she just checked. Okay, start from the beginning. I'm like, I want to go see my friends. No, not until you clean. And believe me, I hated it, but now I love it. And it's very vital to your health to live a clean, healthy life, right? So, like I said, I hated it then. I love it now. Okay. So, um, it's, I guess it's the parents to blame if you don't know the value of it all. If you just everything comes easy for you, and you don't have any responsibilities while you're growing up. Oh, well, here in the West, a lot of parents like, well, we let our kids do whatever they want to eat. If God forbid you scream at them or spank them on the butt, it's abuse. No, it's not. It's discipline. But again, this is the West. The West and the East is just a little bit. What am I talking about? It's a lot different compared to what the life is like Eastern Europe or Ukraine or Russia or like Eastern European countries or even like back USSR, all the 17 countries is different. Anyway, okay, yeah, let her cook. Okay, so let me see. To do is Please, people can comment in chat before stream starts. Okay, well, I didn't know that. Sorry to say this, I am very negative mood today about women. What happened, Santos? Come, why don't you come visit me here, or at least let us know. Okay, hold on. Okay, Zhenya, with an OnlyFans, you gotta have to do a lot more than cooking. Yes, right. Listen, like I said, when back in the, I don't know how many years ago, like over a decade. I remember my friends were telling me because back in the day, I used to have my Instagram and I had my food and I had my paintings and drawings and stuff, and some of my friends like, well, you can you can do that, you can show how you draw, how you paint, and all this kind of stuff. So, and then I got into opening a page, and I'm like, too much work. I already have that, so I didn't. And then literally, I want to say 6 months from there, it just went all downhill. Anyway, let's see what you got to say. Okay, came back from vacation in London, and everything that I saw there confirms to me my doubts that ladies by and large are very oriented towards men with money. Listen, again, I can't speak for all women, obviously, no, but in the West, it seems that way to me because it's just every single time I go on YouTube and I watch these modern dating stuff, is women want money and men want bad bitches. What I mean, not all men again, but mm, most men they go for these beautiful. Well, not even they're most of them not even that beautiful. You see them in real life versus on what's on social media. It's like day and night, and you're like, what? Anyway, but yeah, lately, not just recently, lately for at least a couple of years. Again, it's social media. Women looking at other women's Instagram or whatever the heck, TikToks, whatever they have these days. And it's like, well, look at her, what she's got. She's got this person, and and the man bought her this, and he took on that vacation, this vacation. It's always like people always nowadays. Well, it's not nowadays. People have been doing this for centuries, but because of the social media, because before you just all you could compare yourself is next door neighbor, and that's pretty much it, right? That more like people down the street, but that's about it. You couldn't see what other people had in a different city or a different country. So we couldn't compare that much. But now it's like everybody's on the internet, everybody's looking, well, she's got these shoes and he got her this ring, so why are you not getting this for me? And I can do much better because I have some guys in DMs telling me, oh, I'm so beautiful. And that has ruined relationships, and women just get divorced because, well, her husband got her a, a brand new car. Why aren't you getting it for me? Like, what? People stop appreciating just having a good person that is there. Because, I mean, seriously, think about this. Looks vanish. Everybody gets old. And people that are trying to hold on to this youth with Botox and BS kind of like tucks and nips and whatever the heck they do these days, fillers, they turn out like after 10, 20 years of doing this crap to their faces, they look like freaking they look weird, okay? Like aliens and like lizards and whatever the heck you like, any kind of I mean, I just what I was watching yesterday, botched, what women do to their bodies and faces and stuff. And then, because again, because of the social media, just always trying to compare. Oh, well, she's got bigger boobs or she's got bigger butt. It's like, why can't you just be happy with what you have been dealt with? I understand some people better looking than the other ones, yes, but like, just this life is temporary. This physical body stuff, it's temporary. Okay, I promise you, you're not gonna, if you pass on to the next realm, there will be no body, okay? There will be no physical body. You will have no looks, it's only going to be your mind. So chill with this, and this planet, my personal opinion, is just a test. And if you're a piece of garbage kind of person, you just keep being reborn into this world. And or if you have some kind of unfinished business, I guess. But so the point, anyway, hold on, let me just, I have so much to say, but I need to get through some of the stuff that you left on here. Mm. Love is wonderful, but don't pay the bills, especially if she's. Oh yeah, I just read that, and I read this too. Sorry about that. I forgot my glasses, and yes, can comment. Oh yeah. Sorry, I don't know why the chat moved. Sorry, but okay. Why did all of this come? Okay, hold on. So yes, okay, I did this. Yes, all right. Sorry about this, guys. The majority of women on OnlyFans, 99 make less than 100 a month. Doing the OnlyFans garbage. A woman can work minimum wage part-time job and make 16 times the amount of money. Yeah, well, yeah, I say. I don't even know why, but and then they want, and the audacity they have is like, especially the ones that make a lot of money, they want a high quality man, right? Because that's all that I've seen them on podcasts, like, well, I make millions, so I need someone who's a billionaire. Okay, good luck, good luck there. That's the thing, like billionaire men, like men that have a lot of money, they really don't care about how much a woman makes, and most men don't even care for that. Okay, as long as she's a good woman, as long as she takes care of her man, makes a good meal for him. That's the thing. My grandma told me ever since I was a kid, the way to a man's heart is through his stomach. Okay, well, there's another place you can go, but another organ right there. You can yes, you can get there. But to keep a man, you have to be a good woman. You have to understand. You have to give him peace. You have to do simple tasks, like it's just like cooking, cleaning. Men will appreciate this. Men are very simple creatures. They keep saying it. I'll say it again and again. Men just want to be loved. They want to be supported. They want to hot meal. It's not that hard to cook. It's really not. Okay, it's like the easiest thing ever. Like, I think riding a bicycle is harder than cooking, but again, what I really don't know how it comes to other people, because to me it comes very easy anyway. But again, it's also the way I was raised. I was raised, all women in my family cooked and everything from scratch. When we made preserves, jams, compotes, pickles, all this kind of stuff, marinated mushrooms, dried mushrooms, we made it all. Okay, so wintertime comes, we have preserves. So, anyway, Santos, there are good women out there, but I suggest looking outside most Western nations. Doesn't mean other places are perfect, but got better chances. You, I think so too. And don't get me wrong, there are so many good women in the West. It's just these other modern women, they're ruining it for all the good women out here in the West. I've met plenty of good women that treat their husband like gold, that take care of them and love them and support them and stay in long marriages, like happy marriages. Again, that's how you're raised. But in the West, we're sorry to say this, but really, there's no culture here. There's so many different cultures, as well, at least in Canada. Like, there's really no Canadian culture other than being very kind and polite. That's one thing about Canada. I remember when I first moved here, and people were smiling on the street and saying hello, and I was just weirded out. I was like, but why are they saying hello? One time I was out with my family, my dad and his wife and her mother and my sister, and we were out for a walk in the park. And I was fresh off the boat. I think it was like a couple of weeks in here, and we were walking. I was walking a little bit ahead of my family, and this elderly couple were passing by, and they said hello to me, and then I turn around and they say hello to my dad and my stepmom, and they say hello back. So I was like, Dad, do you know them? He's like, no. I'm like, why did they say hello? He's like, oh, it's just people are here polite and nice. I'm like, okay, that, if you, I don't know. It was super weird to me before, but now I'm just very, like, I'm very Canadianized in that way, you know, but I'm still very traditional because it's just how I was raised, and I don't even like to go outside to eat. But yesterday I had amazing steak. Anyway, okay, so Santos' answer: I am really pondering the idea of living single for the rest of my life. Places like where ladies around the world could be indeed be wired to get attracted to men with money. You are not completely wrong, but not completely right either. Like I said, there are good women out there, and we have some good women. They're all vetted, and they all want to have a very serious relationship, and they don't have time or desire to play games. They just really want to have they're just tired of having shitty lives, in Ukraine. And but not all want to really move from Ukraine, because the Ukraine became a lot better compared to when I was leaving in 1999. It was not good, believe me. In the 90s, it was a freaking chaos, but it got better. Well, minus the war, I guess, but the quality of life became a lot better than it used to be. Yeah, in 90s, it was, especially after the USSR broke down, it was a nightmare. I don't even want to get into it, but it was really a nightmare. Anyway, the typical wars nowadays. What I am talking about is money for beauty. That's a lot of, yeah. That's I and you know what? But that beauty, I've seen that beauty. It's beauty is like, it's just you take a tissue, wipe it off, and it's done. Anyway, Zhenya, I have been to luxurious bars and restaurants, and ladies approach me. I believe they do. I can tell ladies there were looking for well-off men. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's why they go to luxurious bars and restaurants. They know that likely will find a man with high income soon. Yeah, these places not everyone can afford. Yes, I know. Yeah, they like to, especially like going to um yeah, like hotels and stuff. I heard that women like to go and check out men there, at like a fancy hotels, and at the restaurant that's in the hotel or attached to hotel and stuff. Yeah, like looking for businessmen. That's what I heard. I don't know. Yeah, again, you depends on where you're looking for, you're looking for a woman. I don't think a bar or a nightclub is the right place to look for a partner. Uh, I wanted to say like libraries, but libraries so underrated at this moment. People just don't even bother reading anymore. They're super glued to their phone. Yeah, you show a book to a kid these days, like, what is this? Like, what is this? Anyway, let's see. Um, d- d- well, I can't pronounce this. I don't want to. Yeah, d- but I can't see. Okay, sorry about that. But Karuga something. Okay. Anyway, I've met a few Ukrainian women, many like men with money. I Listen, I'm not saying that's not true. I'm sure there are a lot of Ukrainian women that love money, and they only care for money. My ex's new wife, that's all she cares about. She married him to come here and get herself established. That's that's life, I'm not saying all Ukrainian women, like I never said that, and I never said that all Western women are, just one man with money. Depends on the person. All I'm saying is that our women are all vetted and they're all good women. But then again, we don't have any young women on our website. Maybe a few. They're all in their late 30s, 40s, and even 50s, So um they're not like young Barbie dolls looking for a sugar daddy. Okay, so listen, like I said, no, I know plenty. Well, not, I wouldn't say plenty of Ukrainian women, but I know quite a few Russian women that, yeah, they just like the money. Same here. Yeah, it is a fact. I accept, even with a bit of heavy heart, most ladies are attracted to men with money. Again, how does a Western man identify a Ukrainian lady or pro-Russian? Well, pro-Russians would probably mention that they're pro-Russians. Um, I don't know. Just ask where they're from. Like me personally, my mom is from Russia. My dad is from Ukraine. I was born in Russia, but when I turned 6 months, my parents moved to Ukraine because they finished university. And since I was already out, and my mom was an orphan, they moved to Ukraine. So I grew up in Ukraine. I don't know. I know a lot of pro-Russians here, but they're against the Ukrainian that war. But anyway, let's. I honestly wouldn't know. Like, well, pro-Russians. What do you even mean by pro-Russians? Like pro-war? Like, can you elaborate on this, please, David? Because I'm not. Yeah. Okay. Can you make a guess if most of ladies on Match Guarantee would like to marry a well-off man or no? Can you make a guess? I can tell you which ones, and there are a few of them that give off the vibe. Well, not give off the vibe, but kind of like a little too plasticky for me. But again, just because some women are insecure and really want to stay young forever, and they just get injections and all this kind of stuff. Again, you can't judge. Me, my initial thought is when a woman does plastic surgeries, unless she was disfigured, like how the plastic surgeries even came around. They were called, what was it? I was just talking about this yesterday. Reconstructive surgery. Yeah, that's what it was called. Okay. And it was it's not targeted, but it was for the people that were like disfigured, they were in some kind of accident or whatever, and then or they were born disfigured. So that was the original thought behind the plastic surgery. It wasn't just to, oh well, my nose is too big, let's just shape it up. No, it was for someone who was like burnt, or a car accident or burnt victim or something like that. So, and then they did a few surgeries, and then the people actually looked better than before the accident. So after the surgery, they look better. That's how it even became a thing. And then, oh well, heck, I can shape my nose, I can shape my chin or jaw, and that's how it all started. And then it started with injections and stuff like this. And I don't know, it just got out of hand, and it got way out of hand. And I feel like the women that do all this stuff to themselves, I feel like they're very insecure, and they somehow in their head they got this idea that, oh, if I'm gonna get bigger boobs, the guys are gonna like me. If I get a bigger butt, the guys are gonna like me. If I suck some fat out of my stomach instead of going to the gym, and years down the road, everything starts moving around. And I literally watched an hour of Botched yesterday, and I just I'm not shocked, but I'm just kind of like trying to figure out why I've seen young 20-year-olds getting boobs too big. 5, 6 years down the road, boobs are saggy, and then they have to take them out. They got infected. They had to cut half the boob off, and I was just thinking why. And then finally, after all this reconstructive surgery, because they had to do a lot, she's like, finally, I got the body that I've always wanted, and it's butchered, like scar on top of scar on top of scar, and like hundreds of thousands of dollars, like spent. Why can't you just go to the gym? You don't even have to go to the gym. Basically, I work out at home. I go for bike rides, and my body's still in very good shape because I eat healthy and I just work out. I mean, this, you don't really need to work out. You just have to be active. You have to just go for walks, even half an hour a day. Walking will keep you in good shape, and it's really good for your mind as well. Yeah. Anyway, hold on. Let me take these off. They just make too much noise and very uncomfortable. I don't like jewelry. I do like this though. This is very cute. I found it. I couldn't find it for the longest time, but I found it in my gym bag. I haven't used it in a while. So okay, so we did that one. Okay, let's see. Can you make a guess of most? Oh yeah, right. I just already clicked on it. Okay, I promise next time I'm gonna wear my glasses, but they have. I don't have that anti-glow glare or glow, whatever, and it's just anyway. I've been to Poland and Hungary. Many Ukrainian women there now. One quickly married an American man, and I know she just wanted to come to US. Yeah. Listen, yeah, like I said, a lot of women just want to get the heck out of Ukraine. Can you blame them? There's a war going on. But at the same time, I know some Ukrainian women, they also married men and came to US and came to Canada. And way better looking than their husbands. And the husbands also thought maybe she'll leave me. But no, like I said, there's my ex's one of his good friends who is in his 50s, what, 53 now or something like this. And when he was 51, he went to Ukraine. He's short. He is bleh, not, yeah, no, just not good looking at all. Like, and he met his wife now. She's 27 years old. I'm not gonna say she's a 10, but she's a solid 6.5, but not without makeup, nothing, solid 6.5. She married, I honestly thought she married him only to come here and just to get her citizenship and just wanted to, establish her life and leave him. But no, they had a baby. They're happy together. He works at Walmart. He's one of the managers at the big warehouse. He's making about just a little bit over 50,000 or something like that. So, and she's happy with him, and they're happy together. She doesn't, looking for anyone. And I mean, at this point, she can find so many, like, there's plenty of, like, even in Calgary alone, what is it, 1.3 million people living here? Now she's happy. Ukrainian women, again, not all, but a lot of them, we just want to be loved and cared for, and just appreciated because Eastern European men just really don't, not gonna say all men again, don't take it the wrong way, but most of them, they kind of expect the woman to cook, clean, all this and that, and then just still work too. And then because there's a shortage of men, always been shortage of men in Ukraine compared to women. So, and men just like, okay, well, there's more women to go around than men, so I'm gonna cheat. And what's she gonna do? Like, she's gonna find somebody else? Like, there's only me on the block. And again, there's a lot of alcohol involved, abuse. So Ukrainian women just tired of it. We just want to be appreciated, kind of like Western men want to be appreciated for doing all the things for their women, but then still being mistreated. That's how Ukrainian women feel about Ukrainian men. And again, I'm not saying all, but majority. This is why there's so many divorces happening in anyway, let me see. Okay, so Ukrainian women are clever. They know how to play a man, make him feel good, thinks he's in love with them. And then okay, well, if that's how you feel, are you here to just dump on Ukrainian women? Okay, okay, so I don't know, Dick, Dick, okay, Dick Karuga. Anyway, so what has it happened to you? Was a Ukrainian woman that made you fall in love with her, and then what happened? Please do. And then, by the way, I see you here, The Rock, in my stage, like right here, but I need to see you first. I can't invite you to my podcast unless I see you nice and decent, not shirtless. I can't. Okay, so no one denying that women, especially modern women, value men with money, but don't be fooled. Those women will cheat with another man is they're actually attracted towards. Yes, meaning they're good. They are a good pick. Yeah, listen, I've seen that too. I've seen a lot of women. They will marry someone who's ugly and whatever, and have just to have money, but then they still will cheat with some broke ass that's still living with his mama, in the basement. So again, listen, you guys, the reason, like, our ladies are all vetted. I'd said that again, and yeah, just check it out. But oh, I have so many to do. Oh, please pick me. I want to say something important. Okay, well, listen, The Rock, I see that you said can you pick me? I want to pick you, but I said, The Rock, I need to see what you look like. I can't just let you on. You need to be on camera, and no bullshit, no bad talking. I promise. No, you have to show me yourself. Okay. Okay. Well, you guys, you say, okay. Hold on a second. Let me. Can you please pick me? Yeah. Pick up The Rock from backstage. He want to tell you something important. Yes, I want to, but like I said, I need to see. No bullshit. Okay, listen. There's a thing you want to talk about. Yes, please, Rock. I need to see you on camera. I will. No, we have rules and regulations here. Okay, so. Okay, Ukrainian women cover up a lot of makeup and things like they don't look so great if you pay more attention. Okay. All right. Then why don't you stick with the Western women? Like, hey, why are you here? Probably never had a chance with a Ukrainian woman before. Once, maybe one more. The reason Ukrainian ladies look for Western men is to have better life and particularly economic. Well, of course, looking for a better life. Who isn't looking for a better life? It's just, I think that Ukrainian ladies that we have, they're more compatible with the Western men than they're compatible with the Eastern European men. And the same thing goes for Western men. They're more compatible with Ukrainian women than Western women. Well, modern Western women. Okay. I don't need convincing. The Ukrainian women are probably some of the best women on earth to choose for a relationship, especially marriage. It's just a matter of finding Ukrainian women. It's the best for me. Exactly. Like I said, I'm not sitting here and saying, "Oh, Ukrainian women are the best." No, no. It to each their own. Okay, to each their own. Some of them, like I, I know some that are not so good. So definitely not. But again, to each their own. Everybody has their half somewhere, and again, you also, like, you attract what you really are, what you really put out there. That's what you will attract. So you can't just be like, oh hey, well, here I am, like, just living a certain lifestyle. Whatever energy you put out there, that's what you get back. So in a sense, like, in a way that you can't really blame anyone for, for yourself choosing a bad mate. Okay. And red flags are there. I mean, sometimes we don't see them. I mean, yeah, I didn't see mine for the longest time. Okay, I can't show my face, I'm shy. But listen, The Rock, I understand you're shy, but these are our rules. I can't let you on the podcast unless you show me that you are decent. Like, you can send me messages all you want, but it's not gonna happen. Okay, so I'm not really sure like how else I can explain it to you. Like, we have the rules, okay, and regulations, and I was told not to let anybody on the podcast unless they show themselves. Okay, so I'm not gonna do that. Kick from the studio. There we go. Okay, done and done. Okay. So, also vice versa, I'm the best one for Ukrainian women. I believe you are mutual beneficial relationship. Listen, you know what? I think the relationships, when you find the right person, it's not going to be like, oh, what can he do for me or what can she do for me? It's going to be just a union where you try to just do the best and bring the best out in each other, because you can be with the most beautiful woman in the world, but if she just causes you freaking pain and grief all the time, so what's the point? The same thing goes for men. You can be with the richest man, and then if he treats you like crap, why would you want to be in that situation? Okay, so my point is, like, when you meet the right person, and if they're high quality, they won't care how much money you make, or they won't care how good you look without makeup, or like how, or like, so they'll just appreciate you and love you for who you are. They'll be there through thick and thin. That's what the relationship is all about. But again, some people just so blinded, but oh my god, she's so beautiful, like, let's just ignore all the red flags. Oh, okay, he's got the money, let's just ignore all red flags as well. Like, I mean, I've lived through ignoring red flags, and now, just like, I'm not gonna ignore them ever again. I guess you live, you learn. At least, at least I haven't made a mistake of having a baby with someone you know, that wasn't the right person for me, or getting married for that matter. And I'm happy I was smart enough. Okay, so okay, let's see, Santos. This one I strongly disagree. For Slavic ladies are the most beautiful ladies in the whole world. Still conserve a lot of femininity and good tradition manners. Thank you. But you know what? There's gonna be haters here, like, saying some can be very attractive, but over time I notice flaws. Everybody's got flaws. Okay, let me see what you really look like. Come on, you're talking all this smack here. Okay, let me see what you look like. What do you consider, like, what on a scale from 1 to 10, what do you think you are? Like, seriously. Makeup. You know what? Ukrainian women use way less makeup than the Western women. Like, I'm not even wearing any makeup. Okay? None. Okay, this here, no makeup. So I don't know what, but again, there's, yeah, women. I've seen, believe me, I've seen women with Ukrainian women that use makeup on daily, but it's very minimum. I don't know. I grew up in the family where women don't wear makeup, so I just don't like it myself. Plus, I want to wake up the same way I went to sleep. My hair is a bit of a mess in the morning, but other than that, I look the same. I really don't want to hide my face from my man. This is the way I am. Yeah, I'm sure that there are some women that insecure that need they want to put a little bit of makeup. And what's wrong with a little bit of makeup is fine. I think it's just to show, like, to be pretty for your man, right? But if you're single and you just slap like a freaking 5 pound taco on your face every morning just to go to work, there's something wrong with you. Well, again, it's my own opinion, but everybody's got their own opinion, so I'm not pushing my opinion on anyone. I'm just here talking. Okay? If you guys disagree, that's fine. We can agree to disagree. I frankly, honestly, I don't even care. Like, it's my opinion is my opinion. I stick with to my opinion, okay? You want to challenge, you want to, try and convince me otherwise, feel free. Everybody has flaws. To ex- expect any human to be a perfect is not reasonable. Well, the thing is, I think, honestly, passport king, I think perfection is like beauty, is in the eyes of the beholder. Okay? So I think once you meet that right person and everything falls into right places and you click on so many other levels of many different levels, not just physical attraction, but different kind of levels, where you just feel like that's your other half, then that person will be perfect for you, even despite all the other flaws that you can actually see. But that's still going to be the perfect person for you. There is a perfect person for everyone out there. And I'm not saying that everybody's going to be like come and join us and meet the right woman, at least not maybe right away, but there is the right person for everyone. And again, if you're going to be sitting there and waiting for the person to be exactly perfect for you, like have a checklist, you'll never find anyone, okay? Because one thing I learned, well, people don't really change unless they want to be changed, but people can adjust. And when you meet someone who is the right person for you, they'll bring the best out in you. Like in my case, okay, my man brings the best out in me. So I I love him for that. Okay, I appreciate it because I'm thriving to be a better person every day because he supports me as well. It's not just he supports me mentally and emotionally. So I just want to be a better person. Just I want to make him happy. I know that. So I just do the things that he likes. Now I actually enjoy myself, like cooking, for example. I love to cook. Anyway, let's go here. All the ladies whom I found attractive in my last trip were Slavic. Yes, I know. It's not just Ukrainian women, just Slavic women in general are very good looking women. Anyway, again, not saying all the women, again, majority. As long as a woman is not psychopath, nor worst or sociopath, if she's kind, everything else is a bonus. Yes, she's kind, she's sweet, she loves you, she cares about you. What really else do you want? Like really, I that's why I'm thinking, like, really having relationships like nowadays is so hard because it's hard to find someone who will love you for you because people think that all these standards and they're trying to live up to all these standards, but just stop thinking about who set up these standards. Like, whom, like, who are these people that set up this? Oh, the woman has to have a waist this small, or that. It's the women. It's the women that competing with each other, to be honest with you. I think, like, because men really don't care, because not every man has the same taste. Not every man likes a woman to have small waist or big boobs or whatever. Everybody's got their own taste, like, just kind of like box of chocolates in Forrest Gump, right? Some people like some nuts, some people like, I don't know, some fruit in their chocolates. So it all depends on your preference. Some men only like black women, some men only like white women. Like, the same goes for women. It's everybody's got their preference. So again, perfection is in the eyes of the beholder, just like beauty. Some men could find me very good looking. Some men can find me ugly. Not that I care at all. Like, my man thinks I'm the most beautiful, and that's all I care about. The rest of, no, I don't care. I really don't care. So, and like I said, I wish for everyone to find their other half and just be happy, and you know not care about, oh, how much money. I mean, listen, one thing, in this world, without money it's hard to survive. Okay. Well, pretty much in any ages you needed money, because you needed to pay, like right now you pay taxes to the government before you have to pay to the king, whatever, right? You have to work. Yeah, so money, of course, is an asset. Once you meet the right person, you can plow through hard stuff. And I've met men where they met the right woman. She helped them out, throughout the journey, life journey, work, this, that. I know this one guy, he's electrician, he's got his own um business going, like, just opened up his new business, like, well, upgraded, got a bigger office and all that stuff. And his wife, she is doing all the he does the work, but she's the head of, run the business. She runs the whole entire business, and without her he wouldn't have all this. He's a good electrician, obviously, but without her he couldn't function. Okay. So, like I said, once you meet the right person, I mean, if you're lucky, again, if you're lucky, now so many people go through life all their lives and never meet the right person. I met my right person at the age of 42. So, and I already gave up. So, you know, um, I'm a firm believer in energies, and I believe that once you let everything go and stop really kind of looking, I mean, like being desperate to look for someone, you will attract. Okay. Again, my personal opinion. Let me see what else to do. Okay. All right. So everybody has flaws. To expect any human being perfect is not reasonable. I go. Again, nobody's perfect. Okay. All the ladies whom I found attractive. Okay. Oh yeah. Okay. I saw that. As long as the woman. Okay, I saw that too. Sorry. I told you, like, without my glasses, like. Anyway, do you think financial background and status has something to do with likely being a good gold digger? Okay, let's see. Well, let me tell you one thing. If you go on a date with a woman and she starts asking you, um, what do you do for a living, which is not an unreasonable question. It's not. But on the first date, yeah, I was raised where you don't ask that's rude. That's outright rude to ask people what they do for a living, or their last name, or like how much they're making. That's like, seriously, that's not acceptable. back home in Ukraine, you can't just be like, well, how much money are you making? I'm like, what the fudge is your problem? Like, get away from me. Like, listen, people don't talk about this, okay? It's still very weird to me. Was like people asking, like, what do you do for a living? What is it to you what I do for a living? Like, why are you asking me these questions? These are kind of personal questions. And first date, ugh, it's a red flag. If a woman is asking you what you do for a living on the first date and very interested in what you do, I say, yeah, no, don't. It's already at least a pink flag. Okay, getting there. So, I, yeah, gentlemen and ladies, always watch out for red flags. Okay, they could be very subtle in the beginning, but seriously, watch out because they're there for a reason, okay? And if you're gonna keep ignoring them, well, she's beautiful, so I'll just ignore this one because I want to get in her pants or whatnot. Or, yeah, she seems fine, but listen, what people do not realize that intuition, God gave it to us for a reason. And trust your gut. If your gut tells you don't mess with her or him, it's giving you the right signal, okay? Believe me. Anyway, I gotta go. I've already. Okay, so. And GL. What small waist, big boobs can make me overlook some potential character flaws? Please pray for me, Jen. Okay, I will. I will. Okay, I really gotta go. But anyway, if I had a lady, I would have been not travel alone. After 3 weeks, I will go for a holiday alone. Oh, well, believe me, I've traveled in my life, especially mostly when I was living in Ukraine because I played basketball, so traveled all over Eastern Europe and stuff. But yeah, that's exactly what I will. Because when you go traveling, you want to experience it with someone that you love, you care about. Traveling alone or like girls trips. I personally wouldn't even go for a girls trip, even if I was single. I would be scared. I would be scared to go alone in the country, especially if I don't speak the language. I would be freaking paranoid. I don't know. Anyway, I don't really. Yeah, wouldn't. Okay, I did that one. Okay, so even people that live off the grid, self-sufficient, live off the land, hunt fish, gather wild fruits, vegetables, still need to buy tools. Live, exactly, right? I mean, I know how like Amish people or heteroids. I buy my eggs from heteroids. They have iPhones and all the technology and stuff, but they're pretty self-sufficient normally. I mean, yeah, like I said, they need because back in the day when there was no digital, no digital payments and stuff, it was just cash. Yeah, they could definitely live off the grid, just not, you know. But nowadays everything is digital, so okay, yeah, let's see. Maybe many, if not most, gold diggers are coming from poor financial backgrounds. Not necessarily. Not necessarily. Some women that are spoiled because they grow up very spoiled, and mommy and daddy buy everything, and they just sweet 16 boobs and Mercedes Benz. So they will automatically expect that from a man, and they won't go. And the one thing you have to understand, so if it is very, very, very hard to go backwards in lifestyle, downgrade, if for a lot of people, if not most people, if it's even impossible to go back in lifestyle once they taste the good life. Yeah, let private jet, oh yeah, this that. It's hard, but that's why Ukrainian women, we learn to live within our needs. Okay, again, high quality women, not just any Ukrainian woman. And I learned value of a coupon. Okay, because when I was growing up, actually ruble, that was rubles when I was growing up, right? And then our Ukrainian currency was called coupon. Anyway, so I learned that a long time ago. I learned to live within my needs. So as long as my bills are paid, I have food in my fridge, water, this, that, I'm good. Everything else is an extra. Okay. But again, that's my mindset. Okay. That is my mindset. That's how I was raised. As long as I'm healthy, you know, roof over my head, I got food, I'm good. Bills paid, I'm good. Really don't need anything extra. As long as the sun is shining, I can go for a walk, breathe some fresh air, I'm happy. But I can't speak for all the women, obviously not. Everybody's different. But most Ukrainian women, we know how to, you know, make the best out of every situation. Plus, we cook, so you know how much money we save on cooking at home. And I mean, I've been to some fancy restaurants in my life, and I still cook better than any of them I've been to. So, you know, okay, let's see. This time we'll be to Switzerland. Okay. Ooh, Switzerland. Okay. You know what? You should take some pictures, and I don't know if you can send them on here. But anyway, one Ukrainian woman just tried to hurt me, but she was damaged person anyway. Another was very nice, but chose someone else. These things just happen. I listen. Like I said, I can only speak on my behalf of what I've experienced, my life, how I feel and think. So again, but I'm not gonna, sugarcoat shit. But I know, yes, there are a lot of gold diggers out there. I'm not gonna deny it. Um, but like I said, our ladies are vetted, and they just want to be happy. They just want to have a normal relationship with, and yeah, I mean, of course, money makes life a lot easier, but we are okay with just living a normal life without extravagant stuff in our lives. Like for me, I wouldn't care. Like I don't even care to go on a private jet. I don't care to go on a yacht. I wouldn't even want this. I wouldn't even want to have tens of millions of dollars myself because money causes problems, issues. Again, it's hard to go backwards in lifestyle. I've seen people just going nuts, losing their brain cells, and because they had to go back in lifestyle. It's not easy if you're used to eating caviar and champagne for breakfast, and all of a sudden here you go, like here's spam for you and white bread, and you have to live in a one bedroom apartment all of a sudden. Yeah, I can only imagine what it's like. But because I grew up, everybody was poor. For me, upgrading, I wouldn't mind upgrading my life a little bit, but not much. I am very settled in my old ways. And my ideal life, which I'm working on, is to own acreage where I can just grow my own vegetables, fruits, have some chickens and stuff. That's all I really want. Like, I just want to be safe, self-sustainable. Of course, go into town, and buy whatever needs, like toilet paper, blah blah blah, this kind of stuff. Yeah, but for the most part, I want to be self-sustainable, and yes, I want to travel. That's what I want. But again, on the budget, like for me, I shop on budget and always under the budget, to be honest with you. Do not overspend. I personally don't care for jewelry. Like I said, this is it. And then I do have a nose ring, but again, I can see it. But anyway, okay, so then you're maybe one of the. That's so true. I most likely, you know. Uh, like I said, to me, money is a tool to get to where I want to be, but happiness comes from within. You can't buy happiness. I used to have this coaster that was, my friend gave it to me. Well, my ex-friend gave it to me, that whomever says that money can buy you happiness doesn't know where to shop. I've been to a lot of places, and even if I had tons of money, I wouldn't even know what to buy. Like, for example, Louis Vuitton or Gucci. There's absolutely nothing I like. Like, in fact, I think it's freaking ugly. Everything. I don't like anything of Louis Vuitton. I think, first of all, the colors, brown and yellow, poo and pee. Ugh. I know the history of this Louis Vuitton, blah blah blah. He used to make well. Anyway, I just think it's money wasted. Number one. Second of all, it's all made in China anyway. You know how it works to make it in China. They send it to Italy or whatever. No, the thing is French, but anyway. And they slap that Louis Vuitton logo on it, and then they sell it for thousands of dollars when you can just buy the Chinese version without the logo for $20. And anyway, again, it's just, I find it very weird that people, and more, and again, women like to overspend more than men. That's for a fact. But I've seen men that also just buying useless stuff just to show off in front of women. Oh, look at me! Like, oh, I got this Mercedes Benz, like brand new, blah blah blah. But then barely even having any money to eat, just to show off, and then belt, Gucci belt, this that. But really, nothing else. And showing off in front of others, I think it's the stupidest thing ever to do. I don't know. It's just, it's weird to me. But anyway. Oh, yeah, have a great day. Okay. Yes, I gotta go. It's 1 hour and 11 minutes, and I should have been done a long time ago, but no, 11 minutes ago. Anyway, maybe I should approach MG and tell the ladies I have an average income to see if they're truly into me. Exactly. That's what I say. You know what? Even don't even tell them that you have average income. Tell them that you have a little bit below average. I really suggest to all the men to downplay your income, to even pretend that you are pretty much broke. Just say, hey, listen, this is what I'm making, breaking even in life. I don't make any extra stuff. See, like, this is what, if I was a man, I would, and if I had the money, I would never lead with the money. First, when men make this, I'm not saying, again, not all men, but men that have money and they have insecurities, they always lead with money. And that's bad. Don't ever do this, because women that even not not gold diggers, they'll see that you lead with money. And men that lead with money right away, they come off as very desperate, and it reeks of, like, I have nothing else to offer but my money. So even good women be like, well, the heck, let me take advantage of it. He's leading with it. He has nothing else to offer. I might as well cash in on that. Okay. Again, not all women, but most women would just be like, well, he's obviously can have a conversation. He can't make me laugh. All he does is just making it rain. Okay, well, rain on me, rain over me, whatever. So it's just, guys, pretend you're broke. Pretend you're broke. Even if you have money. And if you don't have money, just be broke and don't be ashamed of it. Listen, bottom line is, you want to find love, right? Okay, so be exactly who you are. Don't pretend that you have this, or you pretend you have that. Downplay what you have, okay? Show your personality. A good quality woman will love you for you, okay? She won't care about how much money you make, okay? Unless you're in freaking debt, $500,000, maybe not. So honestly, just be yourself. Unless you really messed up in the head, then probably go see a shrink, check yourself in the psychiatric unit. But just be yourself. And if she likes you for you, then yay. If she doesn't, move on. I always say I'd rather be single and have a peace of mind than be with someone who is the wrong person for me. And I feel like everybody should listen, just detach, work on yourself. It's always good to work on yourself, even if you don't end up with anybody in the near future. But it's good for you to improve yourself, just be a better person each day, whether you read a couple of pages of a book, just watch documentary, I don't know, do something good for you, for yourself, to make yourself feel better. Okay, because self-love is the most important thing, believe me. Okay, if you can't love yourself, nobody will ever be able to love you. Or if you can love yourself, how can you love anybody else? So my advice to everybody, not just men, but everybody, self-love, but don't get too much in your head like, well, I love myself, so now I deserve the best. Yes, you might deserve the best, but again, the best in someone's eyes could be a different in someone else's eyes, just like perfection, just like the beauty. So first, know who you are, know what you are worth. Okay, do not inflate your head, and especially to the ladies, or just because you got some followers somewhere on social media, don't think that everybody wants to get married to you, wants to like wife you up. No, most men just want to bend you over. Okay, so take a chill pill over there. Okay. And for men, don't settle down. For women too, don't settle down for something that just there because somebody gave you some attention that you haven't had in a long time. Just know your self-worth. Work on yourself daily, little bit, just a little bit at a time. That's all you need to do, to improve your life, to improve your mindset. Self-affirmations, very helpful, believe me. And listen, and just be yourself all the time. Be yourself, because if once you put that mask on and you pretend to be someone else, and it's gonna be hard to show yourself later after, it's like, well, this is who I really am. Say like pretending that you like dogs, but then well, no, I really am afraid of dogs. So there's no point of lying and pretending to be someone that you're not, especially if you want to have a meaningful and trustworthy relationship. But anyway, you guys, I gotta go. Thank you so much for chilling with me as always. I really like you guys coming here and listening to me, blah blah blah. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Let me I always do. Where is that video? 1 second, you guys. I'm sorry about this. Oh, there it is. Okay. Thanks, guys. Hope you have a wonderful weekend. Today's Saturday. Come back tomorrow and see Irina. Same time. Love you all.
Hi, guys. Say, have you ever wondered how us, beautiful Ukrainian women, rate you? Well, now you can go calculate your score at